Hi, this is Sharon at fitinfo.com, and I'm giving you a broad overview of American history as I know it, and I know it my quirky way. So I guess you'll just have to take it as you take it and progress from there. So here's what happened. In about the 1400s, Europeans started investigating what was over the other side of the ocean. And French and English people went to Canada. English people and Spanish people went to America, which is now United States, and Spanish people mostly went to Mexico and South America, except Brazil was Portuguese. So that's pretty much how it got handed down to us. America is pretty much Caucasian, English-speaking in heritage, and even though we're a melting pot, that's where our foundation is. And Canada is kind of mixed in between French and English, and then Mexico is Spanish. Most of South America is Spanish in nature, and then except Brazil is Portuguese. So in America, the English people settled, and they came over, and they settled, of course, on the East Coast first, everywhere, of course, because that's where you go in. There's some places where they went around the horn and started, but mostly it's on the East Coast. So they ended up with 13 colonies after 100 years that were, administrated by England, and they were under England's power. And those people that were in charge over here said, we don't want to be under that power of people who are way across the ocean. We've been here 100 years now, so we want our own country. And then they started up on that, and finally at around 1750, 60, 70, 80 is when America came into being. They had wars, they had financial things, they had all kinds of stuff going. And then America had these founding fathers, like 50 of them or more, who got together and made up our laws. And they made a country. And then they had a war, and they, became a country. And broke away from England. And they brought most of England's laws, or much of England's laws, as English common law came to start the American laws, with changes that America thought were better. And that's how we got our Constitution that we still have today. And so then, after that, America had another war in 1812, and I think that was against Britain and Canada. I don't exactly know, because any history I'm going to tell you, I don't know the war part, because I skipped that part. I don't like it. It's bad, and it always was bad, so I just don't do it. But anyway, there was wars, and America then started progressing westward. It's kind of slow, kind of fast in some places, because the Appalachian Mountains are there kind of as a natural barrier. Once they got over there, they start going west. And during this time, the native people that were here, we just basically got rid of them, killed them, or put them in reservations as that all happened. And then there were a lot of financial reasons and slavery and different other things that made the southern states and the northern states hate each other and have another war. That was in 1860 to 1865. And out of that, the president was killed. And so then new things happened from there. And after that war, they reconstructed, they got things better, and then they started doing industrialization, bigger farming, and becoming an economic powerhouse in the world, the U.S. I'm talking about now. And so as an upshot of that, a lot of money came here, and rich people, and just stuff like that, because things were going good. And we ended up having a bunch of rules put in the early 1900s and up till 1929, when we had our stock market crash. And those were all things that were just financial in nature and political in nature, that changed a lot of what goes on in America. So that period of time, 1900 to 1930-ish, is a big dramatic change in America, economics, everything, culture. We had a lot of new immigrants from newer countries that were not England, and things changed. Then we had this depression all through the 30s. During that time, the president and Congress authorized, in order to keep our country going, we're going to put money into public works, and that's why we have a lot of art and buildings that were built in the 30s, because the government was paying people to make that stuff. And so we have a lot of public buildings that are from that period of time. And then there was the next I skipped over the First World War, but that was in 1900 or the teens. And then now in the 1940s we had another war with everybody, and that just went bad, and things happened. And then after the war, America became more industrialized, more efficient, and just basically took over the economy of the world in a sense. And everyone started following America, wanting to be an American, come here, land of opportunity, all that stuff. And then in the 60s, there was more counterculture, rebelling against a lot of this stuff. And at that point, then we had, more upheaval, the Vietnam War, all kinds of political stuff. And then I'm going to stop there. Be sure to fit in fun no matter what you do.